Passages. That's what I'm reviewing today, is Passages. This is definitely an independent film that was released earlier this year that kind of was totally off my radar until Franz Rogowski started picking up a couple awards mentions, including a win from the National Board of Review for Best Actor. And I was like, well, just in case this dude slides into the Oscar conversation, I should probably have an opinion on it. So I rented this off of iTunes. It doesn't have audio description. It probably never will, because it's being distributed by Mubi. And Mubi is a deeply disappointing independent distributor right now. I feel like if you have enough money to create your own streaming service, you have enough money to create accessibility for the blind and visually impaired. Sorry, that's my hot take on that. They also don't have enough money to run Oscar campaigns for anything, which is why I don't think this is actually a serious contender, because last year they had Decision to Leave, which a lot of people loved, and that went nowhere at the Oscars. So when you have a film that was that well reviewed, was one of the more well-known international titles and couldn't end up in the final five, I don't know. That's on you, bro. You were handed a top-notch film and you couldn't distribute it well enough. So I don't know what to do with Mubi except be disappointed in them for lack of accessibility. This film especially, avoid it like the plague. If you are blind or visually impaired, it's highly unwatchable. It's totally pointless. I felt like I was watching an episode of Daryl Dixon again, which, as a reminder, AMC did record audio description for, and they're not using. So it's like half in French, half. It's half in French, a quarter in sex sounds, like moanings, and that's about a quarter of the spoken in this film, and then a quarter of it is in English. So, and then about half of that is also unintelligible because Franz Rogowski, I don't know what's up. I tried looking up his accent. I do not want to make fun of him. I don't get it. I don't. I've heard some people who are like, who call him this like sexy leading man. I'm like, if he looks like that but sounds like this, I don't know. His translation into English he's originally like a German actor. I gotta give him props for being a German actor who's acting primarily in English and French. If that's what I can find on him. I didn't want to make fun of. He sounds like he's deaf to me. He's having a really hard time phonetically with words and getting the right sound out in English. Of course, I'm not French, so I can't tell you how well he speaks French, but English-wise, he would never be mistaken for being a native speaker. So it was distracting at times, especially because I didn't know if it was part of the film. I didn't know if we were supposed to address it. I didn't know if he was playing a character. It's really hard without any context when you don't have audio description and you're trying to pick things up from the little bits and pieces of conversation throughout the whole story of, okay, so he's a director. How big of a director? I don't know. Is he Scorsese level? It doesn't seem to be. So he's a director of some renown where people understand that he's a director. And he seems to be making terrible life choices that are throwing wrenches into his life, sort of selfish choices, and that's what the film is about. He's not really a likable character. He doesn't really get redemption. It's really hard to get redemption in this, although he could get redemption possibly in the silence or in the French scenes. Maybe just in some silent moment where there's score playing, maybe he redeems himself. I don't know, but it's pretty hard. He, from what I gained from the film and limited research, because I try not to gain too much from research in advance. I want to know what the film has for me. If it's going to try to offer that I can see this without any accessibility, then it needs to deliver on that promise. So, since this film is offering that, I went in not knowing what the film was about because I should be able to. That's what I did when I was sighted. When I could see, I just walked into a film. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna go see it. One ticket to what is that? I used to do that all the time. I explicitly remember somebody was like, go see this film. I'm not gonna tell you anything about it. And I literally went to see that film and I knew nothing about it. I didn't know who was in it. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know who genre it was. Somebody that I just trusted their thought on movies. I went and saw the film and I loved it. And we should be able to have that same experience. I should be able to just watch passages because I saw I got the NBR Best Actor, and I also picked up, he got either like a Gotham nomination or Spirit nomination for lead actor. So, or I should say lead, because those are gender neutral now. I should have just been able to check this out. I can't, because it doesn't have audio description, and this film is highly, I was trying so hard to piece together that he's a director who I think is gay and married to Ben Whishaw, because they keep talking about how it's their house, and he's like, it's my house too. So I think he was with Ben Whishaw first, or he's somehow permanently, he's partnered to, married to, I don't know, something. In a more permanent state. He's not just casually dating Ben Whishaw. And then he just decides all of a sudden he's going to sleep with a woman, and he does. And begins this affair with a woman, which leads to her getting pregnant. And then he tries to go back around to Ben Whishaw, and he's like, guess what? Remember how you wanted a baby? I made one. Doesn't go over as well as he expected. So, yeah, that's basically what I can tell you about Passages. For the 90 minutes that I watched it, that's all I gained from this film. So accessibility matters, guys. It really does, because I don't really know what to tell you. The light exchanges, I read some stuff where some people were like, man, these performances are tremendous. They're tour de force performances. They feel so real. And I was like, I don't know. You saw a different movie than me. You saw a movie that had audio description, or your siders, I don't know, something, because this movie is very sort of calm and muted. It feels very indie. It feels very just like a day in the life, just following a couple of regular people. It didn't really rouse me. I'm not offended by the sex scenes. It's weird for me to just listen to people moaning all of a sudden. I will say that, as a blind person with no context whatsoever. It is weird. And it's not because I'm a prude. It's just fucking weird. It's just weird to start. You're just watching a scene and you don't know that people are about to have sex. And then all of a sudden they're having sex and you're like, oh, I guess we're having sex now. Okay. Movie progresses. Some dialogue. Oh, we're fucking again. Okay, cool. Dialogue. It's weird. This is why we need audio description. I need to be able to understand the context of these scenes. I need to be able to understand, first of all, who is actually having sex in these scenes, and be able to follow it that way. So, in addition to the fact that I'm sure that there are creative choices that were made by, I don't know, like literally the entire below the line team in terms of cinematography, costume design, production design, set design, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just all the way down the board. I have no idea what they're doing. I don't know who's in a room, who's not in a room, entering and exiting. I don't know any of that. So even if I was bilingual and spoke French, I would still have a problem with a lot of what I just said. So it's not my problem that I speak French. It's the problem that this film doesn't have audio description and doesn't have the ability to describe to the blind and visually impaired community what it is that they're missing. It's just the equivalent of closed captioning. It's not hard. So if you're watching this and you happen to be from Mubi, or you happen to be representing Passages and you've stumbled upon this review, put some audio description on your shit. Stop playing around. I'm tired of it. Normally I would talk about the audio description now, but I can't because there is none. I can't really talk more about the film because that's all I got out of it. Friends, I guess I'm not going to write off his performance entirely because I have no context for it. So, like I said, I don't know. Maybe it's a great performance. Maybe it's one that's just waiting to be. But when half of it is in French and sex scenes, it's really hard to. I did not get the totality of this man's performance. All I got was his English speaking is. I do not like his voice, said Sam I do not like Greg's name. So, Ben Wishaw's nice in this, I guess. He clear, easy to understand. Doesn't really seem to be given much to do in terms of roles we've previously seen Ben Whishaw in. This would not be one where I'd be like, wow, this is Ben at the top of his game. I feel like he's definitely had some moments. I know last year everybody was like, he's going to get a supporting actor nomination for Women Talking. No. He will one day maybe get a nomination, but it's not going to be for either of these films. So, yeah, Passages is unwatchable. I already said it at the top, but that is my official grade of this film. It does not have audio description, and this isn't even like remotely where I would say, no, this is like run, kill it with fire, move it away. I was talking about this with one of my other blind critic friends, and he was asking me, like, why do I review films? And I was like, because it's important to point out what it is we don't understand and why we need it. Because the industry seems very complacent in not providing us audio description for films, and saying that we can live in this tiny little box of films that have audio description and we don't get to go out and to see the rest of the world with everybody else. You know, the fallacy there is that a lot of times we watch movies with other people. I don't know. I feel like Hollywood just doesn't understand that. I think they think we live in a commune. We do not live in a commune. I don't live with blind people in a commune. I live and work and play and do everything with sighted people. And so when I do get invited to do things or see things and they realize that there's a visual element to it that I can't see, it like ruins the experience for them when there's no accessibility for me, because they feel like they have to fill in the gap themselves. So you're not only ruining the experience for me as a blind person, you're also ruining it for the people that go out with me. So it's really like this mutually beneficial thing that I feel like Hollywood just has no idea what to do with, but it's because we can't get in the room. Like there's no way for, I have like less than 200 subscribers, at least as of the time I'm recording this. I'm not going to post this the same day I record it. And it's, I you know, they don't care. They don't care what the guy with 200 subscribers has to say about this. So, if I was Taylor Swift and I suddenly just started yelling at everybody about audio description, I feel like I would get audio description, you know? So it's, yeah, we just don't have somebody who has a massive platform who cares about audio description. When that day comes, maybe something will happen. When we have somebody who has a huge following, if Beyonce or Taylor Swift want to take up the cause and just start screaming at studios about their lack of accessibility, and calling them out like on a daily basis for, I feel like maybe there'd be some movement, because then their fans will be like aware of it, and then everybody will suddenly get mad about something they didn't know they needed to be mad about. But in the meantime, people are just like, fuck those guys. So I guess fuck this movie. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I do have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Threads, or Instagram at MacTheMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. We actually have a list. That's how shitty our lives are, because we have to have a maintained list of films of where we can find them. Because we can't even trust that a film will have audio description and travel. We can't even say, congratulations, this film has audio description, which means wherever it is shown, it will have audio description. We don't even live that kind of life. We get audio description on a film, and it may or may not show up on a certain streaming service, but it might show up on the next one, but it may not on the next one. So that's our life. And then there's also the ADNA.org, that's the ADNA.org, which will let you know who's doing the narration for your favorite films and television series. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new, I hope you click subscribe. I hope you want to add a blind film critic to your long list of YouTube channels. If not, well, say la vie. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the other side.